Heading: Pre-appraisal and appraisal in environmental impact assessment, EIA. Side heading 1. Pre-appraisal. First point. Pre-appraisal is the initial stage of the EIA process carried out before detailed environmental assessment. Second point. It helps to determine whether a proposed project requires an environmental impact assessment or not. Third point. It is carried out during the planning stage of a project. Side heading: Objectives of pre-appraisal. First point. To identify the possible environmental impacts of a proposed project. Second point. To decide the need and scope of an EIA study. Third point. To identify environmentally sensitive areas that may be affected by the project. Fourth point. To determine the important environmental issues that require detailed study. Side heading: Activities involved in pre-appraisal. First point. Project screening. Determines whether the project requires environmental clearance based on its size, type, and location. Second point. Scoping. Identifies key environmental concerns and decides the areas to be studied in the EIA report. Third point. Collection of preliminary information. Basic information about the project location, technology, resources, and possible impacts is collected. Heading: Appraisal. First point. Appraisal is the process of reviewing and evaluating the EIA report submitted by the project authority. Second point. It is carried out by expert committees or regulatory authorities. Third point. The purpose is to determine whether the project can be approved with environmental safeguards. Side heading: Objectives of appraisal. First point. To examine the accuracy and completeness of the EIA report. Second point. To evaluate the predicted environmental impacts of the project. Third point. To check the adequacy of proposed mitigation measures. Fourth point. To decide whether environmental clearance should be granted or rejected. Side heading: Steps in appraisal process. First point. Review of EIA report. The submitted EIA report is examined for technical details and environmental impacts. Second point. Evaluation of mitigation measures. Proposed measures to control environmental damage are assessed. Third point. Expert committee review. Experts evaluate the project based on environmental, technical, and social aspects. Fourth point. Decision-making. Final decision is taken regarding approval, modification, or rejection of the project.